Lesson 17 is about area of rectangles, and our key vocabulary word in this lesson is area. Get this into your notes. Area is the amount of surface of a two-dimensional figure. So, any two-dimensional figure we have, like a rectangle, we can figure out how much area it takes up. So the rectangle that we have here in blue, it's going to have more area than the rectangle that we have here in red because it's bigger. Area is measured of how many little squares we could get inside of this rectangle. Let's go ahead and look at how we would solve a problem area of rectangles. This one says how many 1-inch square tiles would it take to cover this figure. Now, what we need to know is that area of a rectangle is always going to be equal to the length times the width, always. Now the length is the long part going across horizontally, and the width is the vertical part going up and down. So if area of a rectangle is always equal to length times width, we could figure out how many 1-inch square tiles it would take to cover this figure by multiplying 36, the length, times the width of 24. Let's go through the math. We've got 4 times 6, that's 24. We're going to carry the 2. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 2 more, gives us 14. We've got 0 as a placeholder. 2 times 6 is 12. We now have 1 carried, and 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 more gives us 7. We're going to add now. We get a total, we can see there's no carries, so we can work from the left to the right, of 864. Alright, how many 1-inch square tiles would it take to cover this figure? It would take 864 1-inch square tiles. And we've got our answer. It's a lot of tiles that we need in order to fit in there, but this is a big area of 36 inches by 24 inches. Box that answer, and we can move on to the next example. Alright, for the next problem we want to find the area of the figure in square centimeters. Dimensions are in centimeters, and all angles are right angles. Now what you can notice about this figure is it's complex. It's actually made up of 2 rectangles. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this one figure and we're going to break it into 2 rectangles. If we take this one figure and break it into 2 rectangles, then we can go ahead and figure out the area of the long, thin rectangle. Then we can figure out the area of the bigger, wider rectangle on the left. Add them together to find the area of the whole rectangle. Since we've got blue, let's start with the area of the rectangle on the left. You remember the formula for the area of a rectangle? What is it? Say it out loud. Remember, the area of a rectangle, A, is equal to the length, L, times the width, L times W. So, we have a length of 4 and a width of 6. So we're going to get 4 times 6. 4 times 6 is equal to, well, 4 times 6, that must be equal to 24. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the red part. For the red part, well, we can see the width is 2, and then we can figure out what the length is, but careful, because 12 is all the way across. So, if we want to figure out just the red piece, we know 4 is this portion. So if we want to figure out just the red here, it's going to have to be 12 minus 4, which is 8. It's a little bit tricky, this problem. So we have 8 as our length, 2 as our width. We're going to get 8 times 2. We've got 8 times 2 is equal to 16. Alright, we've got our blue area, we've got our red area. We're going to add them together. We're going to get 24 plus 16. 24 plus 16, well, we're going to have to get 6 plus 4, that's 0. We carry our 1. 1 plus 2 is 3, and 1 plus 1 more is 4. We get 40. Now in this problem, whenever we have area, it says find the area in square centimeters. We've got our answer of 40 square centimeters. And we can write cm for centimeters as an abbreviation. Saves us a little bit of time. The alternative way you could write this would be 40 centimeters to the second power. But we read that as 40 square centimeters, just the same way we read what we wrote out above. We've got our final answer. Alright, our lesson practice is on page 62. Make sure you've got your notes complete, and I'll see you during our next class.